Greetings, my name is Ian Dunn, and this is the second part of my video on how to use this cast terminal XML converter tool that I developed for my company. Rather than going through what I did on the first part of the video, I basically skipped to loading in a XML output file from cast terminal into my program. I'm going to show you now how to use the desk profile editing features. So basically I've loaded in one here, same as the previous video showed, and I'm going to click on options and I'm going to create an optimized desk profile as I did in the first video based on this input flow. So I'll quickly do what I did last time, which is put in a it's the same figures as I used last time. It's basically a flow multiplied by 5, so taking the flow from one desk that comes from cast from the output files, timesing it by 5, and then creating basically a desk profile based on these minimum and maximum queue thresholds. In this example, I'm basically creating a new fresh profile, so I'm not going to use what I previously stored one from there. So I'm basically going to run it now, and it's going through, showing the progress, and a simple little progress bar. It's just running, creating one now. It's the same as I've done in the previous video, but I'm just doing it again now for demonstration purposes. Nearly finished, 80% done. 90%. One thing I've got planned for the future is possibly having this stage done via cloud system, but at the moment it's pretty reasonably quick, so it'll take 44 seconds, but I have got longer term plans of making it work in a cloud system. Anyway, here's a default profile that it's created for based on those queue thresholds. Those are the queue internal COML queues as before. I'm comparing it against the actual queues that I have in the simulation. Obviously they won't compare because I'm timing the flow by 5. If I had the flow set to 1, that should be identical to that one. Long as the disk obviously wasn't set to 0. Disk set to 0, you're going to get obviously a fairly large queue. Anyway, I'm going to this is all in the first video anyway, but now I'm going to show the next bit, which is basically editing the profile. So I'm going to edit that red profile up there. It's now showing the profile. This is the area of the program which is most likely to be developed. I mean, all the program itself could be developed a lot further, but this is the area it's most likely to be developed. But I'm basically going to show you how it works at the moment. So I'm going to say, for argument's sake, I'm going to move the cursor here. Imagine in this little block here, there's only one desk open. There's only one desk. But say I want just between that time range, I want to make it 2 desks. So if I left click on it, it goes to blue. Blue means it's going to add the profile. Then it just shows me here, do you want 2 desks open between that time range? And I'm going to submit, say yes. So I basically submit it, and it's now showing the 2. I should do the same to that point there, and basically it's just filling it all through. Now I'll do it again there as well. So basically I can fill in the profile. I am sort of thinking about more along the lines of the potential of expanding this a lot further, because of obviously I may only want to have a certain region of this area here to actually become 2 desks. At the moment if I select it, it selects the whole region, so I'm considering the idea of having something like a drop down, so you actually or specify, or using the keyboard basically to sort of shrink or enlarge the left and right regions, because they actually set. But at the moment it sets the whole region. It's probably not particularly user friendly, but as I mentioned at the beginning of this section, it's this is the area most up to development. But I won't select that region there because I don't want the whole thing to go to 2. But say I want to do the opposite now, and I want to get rid of that one there, make it only 3 desks open rather than the 4. So if I select it, it now goes red because I'm basically going to delete it, so it needs a different colour. I may make all the colours customizable as well. At the moment it's green. You could argue that it's supposed to be neatness, that the default colour should be red to match the red profile on the previous window. I may change that. So, as I said in the beginning, this is all subject to a lot of development changes, but I just thought I'd show it in the video. And I selected that region there, so I now say I want to get rid of it. So it now says here you can delete it, so I'm going to delete the red region. So it's now gone. Let's say I now want to, I can say, so if I set that region there, it says everything above it, so I can delete all that as well. So I should delete that as well. So that's all gone. So now say I want to save this profile, because I want to save it, but also want to rerun it as well based on this profile at a future time. So if I now save it, You know, it basically says that it's been saved. It saves it. It automatically saves the file as a .pol, and it saves it in the same folder as the cast XML output files. That's all basically uses the cast folder as basically like a project folder. It saves having to reselect where you want to save the file each time. It automatically saves it there. So I'll close that. And what I can do now, if I wanted to, is go back to the optimization of desks, and I can now. I'll set a flow. You still have to select what flow you want, flow mode to apply. So basically taking the flow from dummy desk, dummy DO4. Obviously, if there are a lot more desks you've imported in, you could select any particular desk with any particular flow. But because in this example, I'm assuming that the flows will group together. I only need to take one desk and I'm timesing by 5 to get the flow. I should now select a data file. I've got 2 examples here, but let's say select that one, and then I shall process it based on that particular profile. It's just running through, doing the same before. So basically, it's basically going to take the desk profile that I've just basically edited, and it's going to run it through and produce the queues based on that actual profile. Obviously, if I deleted all the desks, then you get a queue, well, theoretically, like kind of infinite queue, because there wouldn't be any desks for the people to go to. Well, in fact, actually, you'd get a queue of 0. Must correct myself there, because there wouldn't be any physical desks, so there wouldn't be any queue for them to desk against. But if you had one desk, then you also get a very large queue building up. Anyway, there we go. And because I've deleted a load of desks there, you've got this massive queue built up, because I deleted the desks around that region, because it's using that profile that was specified. Now suppose I got this desk profile, I now wanted to export it to cast terminal, because the whole idea of this is to create a profile which you can put into the cast model once you've edited it and got the satisfactory queue. So supposing this was satisfactory, in fact the original one before I edited it was better than this one. But so I can go to edit save desks, and then I can basically just do a simple rule. It's basically export. And it's now basically exported it as a zip file, and a zip file contains for each single desk that's open. So in this particular example, there are 6 desks. It's created 6 XML files, each XML file representing one single desk, and it's got the time range. So the first desk is going to will have the open time throughout the entire day. The second desk will have it open for each green period here, and so on all the way up to the 6th desk, which is only open for that period. Around sort of 9 o'clock, and they were one near 1 PM in the afternoon. I just thought I'd just quickly demonstrate that. As I mentioned at the beginning, this whole area here is subject to a lot of editing, but the whole basic area of this profile is basically to create an optimized desk profile that you can use in the cast terminal model to basically optimize the desks in it, compared to what we would have to do normally, which would be to edit the cast model manually and run it through. Because if you're doing a whole terminal simulation of cast, that means you've got to do it basically from the apron system, or it depends where you're modeling. If you're doing something like check-in, obviously from curve side, but you potentially have to run the entire model, and it can take a long time just to optimize one single localized region. The whole idea of this is to optimize make it quicker to get a seeding value of desk profiles in cast than you would do if you do it just with cast. I thought I'd just quickly show the video, and thanks for watching.